case Easy Rider is checking in for transport duty. Copy, Easy Rider.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Koder from Amoeba Games. Today we're going to have a quick video on how you can take the mission that we built in the using AGHTM in a new or existing mission section, and we can convert it to other aircraft very quickly. We're going to quickly go over the process here. If we look at the download from the AGHTM library, we have an assets folder, and in here we're first going to take a look at the kneeboard images. And if we look at the kneeboard image for 5 zones, when we create our missions in versions for other aircraft, we're going to go ahead and start with our UH-60 mission. We're going to first convert it to a Huey mission, which will use the UHF-FM band for navigation. We will then modify our mission for the Mi-24, and then we'll modify it for the Mi-8. In each case, the process is simple. You have to basically swap out the aircraft, set your fuel and liveries, and load out accordingly. And in the case of the Mi-8 and the Mi-24, we need to also add the navigation radio presets that also correspond to the UHF-FM band. The first thing we want to do to get our mission ready is we want to identify that the existing mission is for the UH-60. So we'll go ahead and rename this UH-60L. Now we want to make copies of it for all of the missions that we're going to create, so we're going to support 3 other aircraft, so we'll create 3 more copies. And we will go ahead and rename these accordingly. So the first one will be Mi-8MT. Second one will be Mi-24P, and the UH-1H. Now that we have our additional mission files, let's go ahead and modify them accordingly. We'll switch back over to DCS, open our mission editor. The UH-60 file is already complete, so we'll jump right ahead to the Huey file. And what we need to change on this, aside from the aircraft, is the mission briefing information. There's no navigation radios, so there's nothing we have to set there. So in the library download folder is an assets folder. If we drill into here, we can see there's a briefing folder. As we covered in the other videos, when creating this mission, we discussed that we need to essentially use the mission briefing base plus one of the other flavors of mission details. In this case, we're using the UH-1H, so I'm going to open this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy this. We're going to switch over to our mission file, and we are going to first make sure that we have our correct mission open. UH-1H, we do. Go to our mission briefing, and if we look for the section that starts with mission details, we're going to choose the very beginning of the line where all of these dash characters start. We're going to hold Shift-Control-N to select everything, or manually select it with your mouse. We're going to delete it, and we're going to replace it with the mission details for our mission. Next up, we're going to select our helicopter, our Easy Rider helicopter. We are going to turn it into a UH-1H. We're then going to switch to our loadout page. We're going to set our fuel to 60%. We're going to set our livery to US Navy. That's what we use for all of the mission bundle missions. You can set it to whatever you'd like, as well as your loadout and fuel. We're just trying to be consistent with what we've already implemented elsewhere, since this mission will be included in the mission bundles. So if we save our mission, let's recenter our map. Now if I try to run this mission, we'll see we have our new mission briefing information. And here we can see that the Easy Rider slot is now a UH1H. Go ahead and cancel out of here. That's it for the UH1H. Next up, we're going to open our MI24 mission file. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to open our mission briefing information for the MI24. We're going to select all and copy. Notice this contains two different radio navigation bands that we can use depending on which navigation radio you're using. Switch over to DCS, go to our mission briefing, go to the beginning of the line where all these dashes start above mission details. Select and delete that. Replace it with our new text. Mission briefing is ready to go. Next up, we need to choose our Easy Rider helicopter. And just like we did before, we're going to choose the MI24. We're going to set our fuel to 60. Again, set whatever livery you feel comfortable with. Doesn't really matter. The preference is completely yours. And the last thing that we need to do is we need to set our nav radio presets. So we're going to click the radio presets tab. We're going to scroll down here to the R828, and starting with channel 1, we're going to start with 34.1, and we're going to set our frequencies this way. Whichever waypoint you're on is also what channel on the preset you're on. So waypoint 1 alpha, you're on channel 1. Waypoint 2 bravo, you're on channel 2. We can go ahead and center our mission back up and hit save. That's it for the MI24. Next up is the MI8. Same process as before. Let's go find our mission briefing info for the MI8. Control all copy. Go to our mission briefing. Find our details section and replace it with our content. Finally, we need to select our Easy Rider helicopter, and we need to turn this into an MI8. Again, set your livery as you desire. Set our fuel to 60 again. And again, we have to go into our nav radio presets. Scroll down to the R828, starting with channel 1. We're going to set these to the same frequencies that we have in our kneeboard images, just like we did for the Huey and just like we did for the MI24. So we can go ahead and recenter our mission and save. And in most cases, that's all we would need to do. One additional consideration you'll have to take is represented here. We have in our mission a ship that we typically use in a lot of our mission bundle missions that has a helipad on it. We have our helicopter, which is a Black Hawk that we started with, set as a takeoff from ramp. And if we follow the waypoints, those waypoints don't go anywhere. They just represent, pickups that we would potentially make out and around the island. We come back and we land on the same vessel. So our last waypoint is of type landing. Now, if we change this helicopter to be an MI8, notice it disappeared. The reason for this is the helicopter is too large in this case to land on this helipad, at least as far as DCS thinks. It has something to do with the way that this particular module was implemented, but since we use it a lot, we've run into this issue quite a bit. One thing you'll notice is that you will have to come up with an alternate takeoff position. So if you have a ship used as your takeoff or landing position in a different mission and you're creating a new mission now for the MI8 that's the same mission in this flavor, you would have to go ahead and create some type of an alternative solution for where you're going to take off from. In this case, this is fine because it's pretty close to where we would have been initially. Now for the last waypoint, waypoint 4 in this case, if I try to move this over to the ship, it snaps right back to the airport because the closest airfield that it thinks the helicopter can land at is here. So the way that we fix this is, and this isn't an ideal solution, but what we can do is we can change this to a turning point, and now we can take this point and just simply line it up with our landing area. So just something to be mindful of. We can go ahead and save our mission, once we make that change. But this is necessary for the Mi-8 potentially. If you find that you're trying to set your waypoints and they keep snapping to different airfields or disappearing, this is probably your issue. So we thought we'd call it out here. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you find this information useful. Get out there, get flying. Looking forward to seeing what you guys are doing with AGHTM. Drop us a line, let us know what you're making. Make videos on YouTube and share them with the name AGHTM in the title. That would be appreciated. Come back to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe. Hopefully see you soon. Koder out. If you like these videos, don't forget to click the thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Koder out.